Trumpet loud.
All right, I really need to get an intro thing, don't I? You know, like the live in X amount of time. Like that's necessary. Yes, I am still alive, Panache. Very much so. Oh, let's fix the lighting. No, I have. Here's the thing. I have lights in my kitchen. Lights in my kitchen aren't the problem. It's lighting in my kitchen. If you notice, this, even though it's darker, is not as fuzzy and doesn't make me as dark. So that's why I don't like using this overhead light, is because this overhead light causes this halo effect of just fuzz. I really don't like it. Going to work in like a half an hour. Can't wait to play your character and murder some people. Gonna make him the worst, most evilistest druid ever. You know I won't do that. Your guy probably won't say a word tonight. Oh, after the cooking stream, I played D&D. And he is part of the D&D game, but he, every 3 weeks, can't show up. So every 3 weeks, I will be playing his character for the sake of combat. It's a friend. It's not an in-house game, but it's a game with a couple or 3 new players and 2 more veteran players. Oh shit! Get that stuff set up for the meeting tonight. But yeah, no, it's a game that me and a buddy are getting a few of our friends indoctrinated in D&D, basically. So that'll be fun. Otherwise, we'll see how long it lasts. It was really set up for the sake of because of quarantine. The quarantine has changed my friend's schedule to where he actually can game with us Thursday nights. So for now it works. Eventually it'll fall apart and we'll have to figure it out. Eventually what will probably end up happening is the game will fall apart and then I'll eventually create my own and I'll DM a game, but we'll see. We will see. Hey, Mom! But yeah, the game for now though is a lot of fun. We're level 2. We're currently wiping out an entire cave of goblins. We weren't asked to do this. They stole our driver, and we're trying to get him back. That's all it is. You still have yet to give me a time on Monday, by the way, Mom. Oh, that is great. Okay, you don't know a time yet. That works. Does Jared work Monday night? He didn't actually say whether he worked or not. Or I mean Monday. So he does work. Okay. Heard that. By the way, this will actually probably be the healthiest food I've done on stream yet. Actually, last week was pretty healthy. Last week was probably healthier. Never mind. I forgot. We did some actual healthy food last week. This one involves mayonnaise, so it's automatically less healthy. Oh, also, Mom, I've bought some stuff that is going to be shipped to your place. It's kind of big, so if you don't, so once you get it, please let me know. It's new lighting, so that the kitchen won't be as dull. I am gonna pull my chicken live on a stream. Yeah, no, this light works extremely well for my gaming stream because it's small enough and condensed enough, but it's still pretty bright. It does not work for the kitchen. There's just too much space in here. So I went ahead and got some new lights so I can record better. But I didn't want to ship them to my place because people are being all thiefy right now. Not in my area necessarily, but I went over to Kroger and all of the meat is tagged with sensors. Like, holy cow. The third set that you actually sent me. The third set that you sent me. Not the most expensive version of the third set. Like the mid-range. Basically, I didn't need the stuff that was designed for outdoors. I think it was. I don't remember what it was. There was something on there that I didn't necessarily need. I didn't really feel was worth the extra $80. Yeah, I think the soft boxes maybe. Hey, if I regret it, then I'll just go buy them. It's whatever. They weren't really any less expensive to buy with the set than they are to buy themselves. So that's why I made the choice. If they were substantially less or more expensive, then I wouldn't have done it that way, but the cost difference is fairly minimal. Don't remember if small pot can fit 6. No, I didn't get the colored gels. No, I don't need the colored gels. No, there was just one that had carrying cases and one that didn't. I just got the base set that had carrying cases with it instead of the base set that didn't have carrying cases. That was really the only difference. We're talking about lighting. We're talking about lights. So that it's not so dark in here. So whenever we do these streams, it's nice and pretty. And the cameras don't struggle. The Sakuragi gets onto me about it all the time. Hey. The host can be as ugly as he wants. It's the area around him that matters. But yeah, so I've got the new lighting coming in. A buddy of mine offered to edit my videos for me. Yeah, but I didn't really want to do battery packs. I don't really plan on taking them anywhere. They aren't really going to move with me, so it's not as big of a deal. But yeah, one of my buddies offered to edit my videos for me, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take you up on that. But I have to get an external hard drive so that I can actually do that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, Sakuragi. Yeah, that would make sense that you would want that. Being able to angle them however you want would be pretty useful. I don't know if you guys noticed what we're doing tonight, though. By the way, we are doing pulled chicken, Mexican pulled chicken, with a cucumber salad and just some simple deviled eggs. Nothing super special on the eggs, just good old-fashioned original style deviled eggs. Nothing special. But then the cucumber salad is something a little lighter, hoping to it's gonna have a bit of a sugar vinegar sauce for a marinade on the cucumbers, and then you've got obviously the Mexican pulled chicken, which is a recipe. It doesn't have. You'll notice that it doesn't have measurements on it. That's because it's my interpretation of something that one of my friends did for me at work. It was delicious, and I hope to be able to recreate it in a decent fashion. Yes. Says right here, garnish with black pepper, paprika, and chives. Yes. I don't understand who screw the other things. Well, the other things aren't necessary, but those are to my own liking. I do enjoy chives, and I enjoy the black pepper. Very finely ground black pepper, though. Very light. But yes, paprika is absolutely phenomenal. And with the chicken, we're going to be just doing some sliced up lettuce for a bit of crunch on that sandwich. Nothing super crunchy though. My cats are running back and forth like crazy. I think they're weirded out by me doing this by myself again. I know, lettuce, flavorful. Now, the lettuce is actually intended to not change the flavor of the food at all. Lettuce is intended to just give texture. Yeah, nothing else behind that. Cucumbers, obviously, for that salad. We're going to be using tomatoes in the chicken as well. Tomatoes, onions, whole shebang up there. It'll be yummy. Hold up. I actually forgot to check my angle on Kitchen Stove 3. Did I set it up right? For the most part. It'll be fine. You can change it while cooking if we need. What? Toothpaste? You mistakenly add toothpaste to juice? Oh, celery. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that for sure. Ooh, sorry about that. I can see that for sure. Hey, get off the table. Yeah. The cats were trying to be on the table. That's not okay. I let them on most surfaces. You're allowed on the couch, any chairs. Hell, you're allowed to stand in front of the TV for all I care. Not my computer, not my tabletop, or my countertops. Yeah. Okay, and the table is actually fine so long as I don't have a tablecloth on it. I only care when I put the tablecloth on it. If I don't have the tablecloth, then it's not a big deal. There we go. I was wondering where my extra light was. I knew I had other lighting. I was like, where's my... why is it as dark as it is? But it's because I didn't have the other two lights on. And I mean lights in my house. I don't mean lights. Can't wait for those. But I guess we can go ahead and get started. No big deal on time. Let's go with this one. I really haven't been streaming much. I've been working a lot, so I have not been streaming. Okay, cool. Well, then I will eventually work on getting those. They'll be good eventually. I don't necessarily need them right now. But no, I've been working a bunch. I've been so I haven't really been streaming after work. But starting tomorrow night, I should be going back to streaming every single night after I get off, until about 3 or 4 in the morning. No later than that, though. Or I'll be doing streams in the morning. Not entirely decided. I'll decide by tomorrow. Because for the most part, I've been waking up in the morning. For the most part, I've been waking up at 8 in the morning, between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning, and just, doing stuff. Panache, my excuse for me losing is myself. I personally am good enough at losing. But, alright, so what we're going to start with today is we're going to start with our cucumber salad. What you want to do with your cucumber salad is, obviously, you're going to slice up your cucumbers. Then we will go from there, and we'll make our sauce that's going to go on top of it. And more like it's going to marinate. The cucumbers are going to marinate inside of it for about an hour. And we're going to set that off to the side. But we'll do that first. That way it can begin to marinate and rest. Is grating your hand a required step of slicing cucumbers, or is that optional? It's for the most part optional. Harsh shadows can make it look more dangerous. It is optional. If you enjoy the flavor of flesh, it's perfectly fine. You know, feel free. Most people don't enjoy the flavor of their own flesh, though, so do be careful there. You're going to have a weird taste. I always forget that this thing is actually horrible about this, where it basically just mashes it, and I don't have a good way to do this. So we're gonna do this by hand. Screw this. I've done this twice, and both times I forget that all it does is it mashes the cucumber, and I don't like that. It works in some settings, but it doesn't work in this. So we're actually just going to do this by hand. So we're going to chop off what we just ruined. And we're going to go ahead and just take down our cucumber itself. For the most part, I can do this fairly quickly, so it's not really necessarily a big deal. You can do long cuts or thin cuts. I'm going to do one cucumber short, one cucumber long. And of course, make sure to enjoy yourself some cucumber while you cut. Just organizing these into little separate stacks so that when I go to actually cut them down, they're more organized, and I don't have to fiddle with them. A nice sharp knife is always very useful for this. It'll cut straight through, and you don't have to worry about any kind of pressure. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a bowl. This is also going to be my lunch for tomorrow, so I am going to go ahead and cut up all of it and use it all. Yes, I do prefer. I do advise having somebody else provide the flesh. It's going to be much more consistent flavor-wise because you're not going to be feeling pain while you eat it. So these ones I'm doing 3-inch cuts on instead of the really, 1.5-inch cuts that you just saw me doing. Doesn't make a huge difference, but I'm also cutting them a little thicker to provide a slightly different texture. And they'll absorb the sauce a little slower. we all point out that you need a sharp knife because if you don't have a sharp knife, you cut yourself. You hurt yourself, or worse, you take 1.5 years to cook food and nobody wants to come over to your place. All right, so that actually is an interesting question I get from so many of the employees that I work with. So people will always ask you, why are you more likely to cut yourself with a dull knife? You're actually more likely to cut yourself with a dull knife because there's more resistance from that, from what you're doing. If you guys notice, it's not a blunt force, it's this, kitchen 2, sorry. So if you notice, my knife just goes straight down through, no resistance at all, right? But with a dull knife, you have to push down. You have to use your own pressure. And if you have to use your own pressure, what it's gonna do is it's gonna cause a chance of slipping. It has a chance of slipping and cutting into your hand, or cutting your fingertips, or cutting your thumb, any of that stuff. And because of that slip, or because of that pressure you have to do, that chances of slipping exist. But with a sharp knife, the chances of slipping are very, very minimal, and that's really just poor handling at that point if you slip with a very sharp knife. But yeah, that's the big reason why if you're not careful, you're gonna if you're not careful and you're using a dull knife, you have a much higher chance of harming yourself because of slippage. That is a burn, actually. That's not a cut. If you guys would like, I can expose my wound and put it all over the food. But yeah, no, that's an oil burn, which you guys will notice I have plenty of them. Yeah, you guys, if anybody who's ever seen me in person definitely knows that I have plenty of oil burns. That's just kind of the nature of working around oil when people don't get all the moisture out of the food in which you're cooking. You cook shrimp in oil and it's gonna pop. So it pops and hits your arm. This is actually because of chicken. So it happens. A dull knife for guac? Yeah, you can, I guess, use a dull knife for guac. But if your avocados are ripe enough, you should be able to just slip the skins off of it without any issue, or just use a spoon. Spoons are going to be more effective than a knife is going to be anyway. Them damn dull oil burns. Yeah, damn dull oil burns. The oil was too dull for sure. Yeah, that's what I was saying. For combing it out, you're better off using a spoon than you are using a knife. But also the thing is, if your avocado is if you got the correct kind of avocado, you know, age-wise, you should be able to just peel the back off of it anyway. There should be no need to comb it out. Just cut it into quarters instead of cutting it into halves. And you should be able to just you should be able to just peel that skin right off. No, you should not use a spoon, comb, because if you comb with a spoon, with an actual comb, the food will go through the strands, just like your hair. That's not good. When you comb with a spoon, you use a spoon because it's a solid force, right? You know, there's no actual correction of straightness there. Because we're trying to logic this. I know it made no sense. Don't worry about it. Get off the tabletop. And back to the regularly scheduled program. Yes. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the stuff for this right here, the cucumber salad. We're gonna go and get the 1 cup of white vinegar, half a cup of water, and 3/4 cup white sugar. That all is gonna go on into our little friend Small Pot. Small Pot's gonna help us cook that up. You don't have to bring that to a full boil. You actually don't really want to bring that to a full boil because you can burn the sugars. You don't want to overcook it. It's just going to be mixed up so you can properly cook up that sugar. So where did I put Small Pot today? Small Pot's right here. I was holding eggs with him. I wanted to make sure I could fit all the eggs that I needed. Yes, you're gonna get white onion, which I don't think I wrote down. I did forget it, and then dill. It's a super simple cucumber salad. Nothing crazy special to it. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna get Small Pot here. Measuring cup. I don't actually think I need that thing of white vinegar. I think I have one already. There you go. I don't need the whole thing, the whole big thing of white vinegar. This is not going to smell great at first. Just so you know. It is kind of just the nature of it. It's kind of like sushi vinegar. Sushi vinegar does not smell good at first. It's gonna have a very strong scent. And you can, if you want, add a bit of sage to this. I know a few people who they recommend putting sage in this sauce. Oh, that's great. Boiling cucumbers. That is, I mean, you could do it. There's plenty of things that you would do it for. But for a cucumber salad, definitely not. So while this comes to a boil, we're gonna grab 2 onions. I gotta just move this. One of these onions is going to be for the chicken, and then part of one of these onions is going to be for this. The other part is going to go with the chicken. See, now my question though is, did it turn out okay, or does your dad just kind of tone deaf to flavors? See, and that's the thing. It's so important to know how to cook, and people just don't. People absolutely just don't know how to cook, and it makes me so sad. All right, so that is awesome, perfect. So that is right where we want it to be. Turn that heat off. I'm gonna add in the sugar. Where did I get my quarter cup measuring spoon? Oh, I already have it out. I was prepared. Forgot I was prepared. Ooh. I hope you guys can't hear that. There's drilling going on in the apartment next to me, apparently. It's quite loud. I just want to take, mix this up, make sure it all dissolves nice and evenly. Okay, I don't really have an angle for this, but really the sauce, all it's gonna do is take it and mix it up very even. All film sugar on the bottom as it still begins to dissolve. Make sure your stove is off before you bring it on over here. So I refer to this as a sauce because this is actually almost exactly Chang sauce. I don't know if any of you guys have eaten at Chang's, but this isn't for like their Chang spicy chicken. It's a sauce that goes into sauces, but it's very close to Chang sauce. So that's why I refer to it as a sauce. But no, you're right. It really isn't a sauce per se, because it's basically just it's sugar and vinegar and water, and all you're doing is you're setting stuff in it. Or you eventually can turn it into a sauce, but it's still too thin. It's broad, it's literally just water, watery. Now this, because this is actually an extremely sticky texture, I would like to get my gloves out. Where did I put them? Because I don't want to put my hands on this and then have to go working on other stuff. That's really all. The only reason I'm using gloves here. So I'm gonna take cucumbers into a bigger bowl because I didn't think they would be quite as much. I didn't think they'd be quite as much, but I did end up getting 2 very large cucumbers here. Pour that over. Level it out as best you can after having mixed it up quite a bit. And we're gonna set that off into the fridge until we're ready to eat. We will eventually mix some dill into it after we are ready to actually serve it. So, on to the next part. Let's rinse out small pot here. Small pot is going to be all nice and mixed out. So, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, Andrew, but small pot is getting a lot of justice today. I don't. What game are you hooked on right now? Raishing Mahjong? That be the right way to say that, or did I pronounce that, or did I butcher the pronunciation of that? Making sure these eggs fit in nicely. And then we're gonna put water in here. So they're just covered. We're gonna bring these to a boil, and then we will cover them up. Once they're brought to a boil, we're gonna cover them up for about 15 minutes, just like you do with any other normal deviled eggs, and then we're gonna go ahead and peel them out. But while we do that, while we wait for that to come to a boil, we're gonna set up the other stuff. Oh, okay, Riche Mahjong. Civ 6 is free? Okay. I actually don't know how to play Mahjong. I've never gotten into it, I've never learned. And I have lost the lid for small pot. We will find that real quick. We have found the lid for small pot. See, and I do enjoy TFT. Right now, I'm not playing it. Just because I can't play every single time they change the patch, or they make a patch, because they change the game so heavily. Epic is from Origin, or Apex is from Origin, not Epic. Yeah, Apex is from Origin, not Epic. Borderlands was from Epic. That's why I have Epic on my computer so heavily. And then I have a whole bunch of games that Epic is giving out for free, including GTA 5, of course. You might as well get it, right? I pretty much get all of their games. I haven't installed any of them, though. You should link me that mobile app then. Via an Android emulator? Okay. So with this, for the chicken, we're gonna start off by cutting up. Our onion here, and then we're gonna get a broth ready and going. And you're gonna be cooking the chicken the entire way in the actual broth. And then we're going to use a bit of that broth in the actual cooking process itself. So we're going to quarter our onions, and we're going to go ahead and get the skin off of them. Make sure to get the full outer layer, not just what you immediately see. You can technically do this without cutting the onions at all, and just cleaning the outside and just putting a whole onion in there. That is a perfectly acceptable way to do this. The cutting the onion was what I was told to do by my buddy, though. She suggested that cutting the onion allows for the flavors to release a little bit more, quicker, since you're not going to be slow cooking this. You're actually going to be cooking it over a relatively short period of time. Gonna go ahead and throw those on in there. Then you're gonna want to take your cilantro. Crack it. You don't need this whole thing of cilantro. Hunter has a computer now? I did not know that. Holy cow. That is absolutely awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Okay, so not very recent. That makes sense as to why I haven't heard yet. I will make sure to message him congrats tonight. Yes, everybody always needs cilantro. You need cilantro in anything. Cilantro goes in food in general. If you're eating something, it probably should have cilantro in it. No, that's weed. I know, this is tiny pathetic garlic. You're stuck inside from the pandemic and haven't given me any new fresh elephantitis garlic. Oh. We're gonna take about 5 or 6 of these. Because, you know, if I had some elephantitis garlic from the Guilford over here, we wouldn't even need 2 of them. But also, garlic has been sold out in the stores, so I've been like, it's been crazy trying to actually find any. They got it back in today. Did I tell you guys that all of the meat at the Kroger that I go to, all of the meat has sensors on it? They literally have sensors on the protein right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I got I have like 6 in there. Oh, that decided to go flying. Shit. There we go. Alright, sorry about that. Saw that small pot was boiling. Nobody warned me. It's almost like you guys aren't in the living room or in the room with me. Yeah, like the little buzzer things, for real. They're all over the food right now. So that people won't steal them. It's crazy. And there's a security guard posted at the front of my Kroger. Mind you, I think that one's just because we're in Antioch. Walmart always has a security guard. No, crushing garlic with a dull or sharp knife doesn't matter. You can totally do it with a butter knife if you want. You can even use a spoon. Mind you, you might offend your knives if you use a spoon for it. I'm sorry, Panache. I forgot to say it. Okay, guys, so let's start over. So you can use a sharp knife, you can use a dull knife, or you can use a measuring spoon to break open your garlic. And it's already broken open, so I'm not doing it again. Measuring spoon, cup. It's only like a quarter cup. That's a spoon. I've taken bites of pudding bigger than a quarter cup. Come on. You all know that's a spoon. Goodbye, censor. Yeah, technically it is a quarter cup. Oh. Who be messaging me? Ah. Sakuragi's sending pictures. It's a small cup. I have small cup, small pot. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and just settle our chicken on down in here. You're gonna need more broth than this if you're gonna do more than 2 pounds of chicken, just so you know. Just gonna let you know that in advance. You'll need probably another, if you want to, like, and you know, another half can of, or container of chicken broth if you want to do this with more than 2 pounds of chicken. Go ahead and move that out of the way because we don't need it just yet. You need 6. Oh. Get it all nice and poured in there. And now make sure to position your chicken so that it is fully coated or fully submerged. And this, you're actually going to want to bring to a full boil and leave at a full boil for a few minutes and then bring it down to a simmer. So there it is on over here. Ah, better angle. You're gonna go work on dinner? Well, enjoy dinner. You make sure to use a sharp knife, not a dull knife, a sharp knife. But make sure to also, I don't know, take pictures of it, post it in our Discord. I think everybody would enjoy some good pictures of some panache dinner. Nobody enjoys pictures of Sakuragi's dinner because Sakuragi doesn't cook for himself. Other people cook for Sakuragi. Right. Yes, you did hear your name, Sakuragi. Well, I'm just saying that you have other people cook for you instead of you cooking for yourself. Not really talking smack unless you take offense to that. And I can't imagine you take offense to that. Oh, nice. What are you cooking tonight? Then what are you cooking yourself for dinner? Because right now we actually have a decent amount of downtime. If there was anything else that I actually wanted to cook, right now would be a great time. But I have about 5 or so minutes left before those eggs are actually ready to be used. So I got a bit of time. Huge ass drumsticks. Is that what you sent a picture of on Discord? Let's see. Let us check out what Sakuragi sent us on Discord. Oh, no. He took a picture of Mahjong. That does not look like any Mahjong I've ever seen in my life. Alright, guys. Does this look like any Mahjong you've ever seen? I don't know what Mahjong is or how to play it, so I could be very wrong, and that could be completely normal. Well, Graham, guys ever make it down here, or when I make it back up there, I'll cook for you guys. That way we don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about you guys doing any of the cooking. Yeah, see, I don't. Like I said, I don't know how to play the Mahjong. So you say tile matching BS, and I'm like, hey, Ridley, get away from the trash bag, Ridley. Yeah, get away from the trash bag. By the way, they actually do listen to me snapping my fingers. There was something on my countertop. Oh, okay. I gotcha. So how rare it is. There are different rarities in Mahjong? Trying to complete sets in your hand, and people read your discards to figure out what you're trying to do. Okay. So it's not like everything's out on the table. You have an individual hand that you play into. Okay. All right. Now that we have, now that we have a little bit more downtime, what we're gonna go ahead and start cutting up our tomatoes, because we're gonna want these halved. It'll make it a lot easier to cook them in the broth once we get there. If I had 2 lids, I would just put them in between there and cut them that way, because that's how I do it at work. I just take 2 lids for containers that we have, put a pile of these in the middle of them, and just slice. Actually, I might have lids. Hold on. Let's check. These would actually probably work. Tupperware lids. I didn't even think about that. I'll have to read that in just a second here. I'm gonna keep cutting. To be honest, I don't know how much tomato I need. I probably don't need that much. So I'm actually not going to do this. I'm going to finish cutting them by hand. I probably don't need to cut this entire thing for the chicken that we've got. If we had twice as much chicken, I think it'd be worth it. But for now, it's a bit too much. It'd be a bit too much tomato. You know, tomatoes and bell peppers are the things that I see people cut themselves on the most because their knife won't be sharp enough to go through the skin on the tomato or on the bell pepper quickly. And so what they'll do is they'll slice down and it'll slip and they'll cut the tip of their thumb. So, you're trying to complete sets in your hand, and people read your discards to figure out what you're trying to do, because you can steal discards. And if the stolen discard leads to a win, that person pays the full amount of your win. If you go out on a self draw, then the penalty is split among everyone. So it's super important to play defensively. Okay. I kind of understand that, but I think I need to see it in play before I really fully understand it. I'm gonna set these tomatoes off to the side, and we'll probably throw them on a pizza later this week. Because I still have ingredients for pizza. But this time I'll do it with yeast paste. All right, and let's go ahead and wipe down our surface again, and we'll go ahead and cut up our chives now too. We might as well get ourselves prepared to, you know, keep working, right? So none of them cracked in the cooking process, which is nice. Often happens, and it's, you know, they'll spew out and you'll lose a bit of your egg, and it's no fun. Okay. Opens like that. I'm gonna take the chives out that I don't think look very good, because these are from Kroger. I thought about yoinking some from work, but that was a bit of a drive. To be honest, I think about yoinking food from work to cook a lot, because I'm allowed. Not entirely. There are certain things that I'm not allowed to take. Like, I'm not allowed to take oolong bass or any of our New York strip steaks. But I'm allowed to take chicken and basic vegetables. They don't care. We're gonna go ahead and cut off these browned edges. Face them all the same direction so that we don't have to, obviously, so we don't have to do it more than once. I think my cats think I took some of their cat grass. Yeah, off to the side, and now just do very small slivers. I'm not a big fan of cutting small amounts of chives at one time, because there's a because you have to move so much for them, and sometimes you'll just lose your grip on them in general, and then you have to reset them entirely. And obviously, you know, professionals don't lose their grip on these things entirely, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna get rid of both ends because they have little dry bits on both ends. Not super high quality chives, but they do the trick. You want to be as soft with these as you can, because otherwise you'll spill out all the little chive juices everywhere and you'll lose all your flavor. Good. Get off the table, you little shithead. Tisk, tisk, tisk. There we go. Beginning to get a nice boil over there. So we have our tomatoes, we have our chives, we have black pepper for garnish. Just gonna do a little bit of salt in that egg mixture as well. Now let's go ahead and chop up some lettuce. This we're not gonna take the whole thing of. We're just gonna take a part of this and cut it up for the sake of crunchy bits. We're just gonna open it up just a bit. Really, I should be using a ceramic knife on the lettuce so that it doesn't brown so quickly. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it in an air-sealed bag and hope that it lasts until I need it tomorrow. A steel knife is going to cause your lettuce to begin to brown extremely quickly. There's a specific word for it, but I can't think of it right now. Panache. You should help with that. I don't think Panache is here anymore, guys. Garrett's talking to Panache, who's not here. Hug your lettuce so the air is all out. Just like when you're choke holding someone. Choke hold your lettuce, guys. There we are. Now go ahead and move that off to the side. And we're good. So now we're gonna go ahead and get our eggs out, get those ready, and get those all cracked out. So we're gonna start. We're gonna get use this bowl. I don't need this. I don't need that bowl right now for that. I'm gonna start with a bit of cold water and ice. Now, I will say you're not limited to cold water and ice. You can use warm water and more ice, but it kind of seems pointless. Go ahead and strain out your eggs. Now we say goodbye to Small Pot for the night. That was the end of his role in tonight's game. went ahead and flipped over the chickens. That way we make sure they're getting they're getting evenly cooked at a good pace. But want to bring that down to a low simmer. Now that we've flipped them, and where is my lid? I keep forgetting to get my lids out. There we go. Now you place that lid on there. It's gonna be all nice and steamy. But let's actually show you the chicken. Can you see it? You can kind of see it. You got a nice white chicken breast there with the cilantro and the onions starting to fall apart. That way you get all those nice and flavorful juices mixed up in your food. Go ahead and set those off to the side. I did forget to tink when I pulled them out, so it was necessary. Now that we've given our eggs just a minute to rest, we're going to want to use cold water to actually get the outsides of those eggs off. I did a very poor job of peeling this one. I haven't done deviled eggs in about a year, so I'm going to blame that. Looks like a nice, good peeled. Ah, shite, it cracked. Still delicious though, even with a bit of a crack in it. Turn my chicken down just a little too low. I really should have done this. You know, done these eggs probably beforehand. So you guys didn't have to sit through me taking off eggshells of like 6 different eggs. Alrighty. This is a much nicer example of an egg here. Much, much nicer. Very clean peel. It also does help that that eggshell was a much thicker eggshell. All right, boom. That's how they're supposed to come off. All in one go. Not supposed to spend 6 years trying to get an eggshell off. Do. I brought it back over here because I'm using the metal surface on the sink to allow me to allow me to crack the eggs more efficiently. Boy, that was way more difficult to say than it should have been. You're using the water to help. Basically, you're keeping the egg clean as you go and keeping your fingertips clean so you don't stab into the egg with the eggshell and you don't just keep throwing the eggshell back onto the egg. And it helps get up under that layer of skin or membrane between the eggshell itself and the egg, so that whenever you're peeling it, it doesn't just suction back on there. Oh yeah, so we only had one that actually got messed up, which is pretty nice. We're gonna go ahead and let those eggshells go on down the drain, help us clean out our disposal. That's the word, disposal. Our knife, dump out the bowl. Let's go ahead and get those tomatoes back in this bowl so we can work on our eggs here. Get ourselves a new bowl. Yet again, another instance where a sharp knife is very important. I only say that on this one, actually, because if you don't use a sharp knife on this, you'll tear your eggs apart. Just like Anakin tearing Padme apart. You're tearing me apart, Anakin. No? Nobody? Alright. Fine. Fine. So softly take and expand around your egg yolk, and it should just slip right out. And you know what the beauty of these eggs is going to be tonight? My roommate doesn't like deviled eggs. He actually just doesn't enjoy deviled eggs. So it means I get to eat all of them, which is pretty awesome. I don't have to feel bad about it. Let's go. The reason I'm not using a spoon here, though, in case anybody thought about it, is because you have a chance of just digging straight into your egg, unless you're just crazy delicate with it, and you can just tear your yolk apart. You'll notice as you get the yolks out, it's even still they fall apart a little bit, and causing it to become more difficult to get them out if you break them apart too much. Oh, get out. There we go. There we go. Giving it a little pat on the back so that it pops itself out here. See, I don't remember when the first time I actually had deviled eggs were, but I don't think I used to like them. I think there was a point in time where I actually did not enjoy deviled eggs. I don't remember that for sure, but I just have a weird feeling. Because it doesn't seem like it's something I would have enjoyed back in the day. Now, Mother can confirm whether or not I actually like them or not. Because obviously I can't. Ah, my hair. I need a haircut so bad. You hate the smell of hard-boiled eggs? Really? Why? What is it that makes them not enjoyable to you? It's actually not a real man thing. It's that. It's the stupid plastic cover which they have it fucking sealed down. So that even with my fingernails, it's not fucking coming up. So I'm just gonna use a fucking knife here. There we go. Holy cow. Bite it, stab it. You guys said real men, and then you just resorted to the most violent actions I could take against it. Come on. Real man stuff. Right. That's how that works, right? Now, I accidentally bought mustard, and I realized I already have a thing of mustard. I don't actually need a whole other thing of mustard, but I'm gonna keep it because it doesn't really go bad. Yes, yellow mustard, because I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on Dijon mustard when I don't use mustard for anything else. Yeah, I don't use mustard. My roommate doesn't use mustard. Spicy brown mustard? Oh yeah, see, spicy mustard, don't use it either. I use mustard seed, mustard powder, various different kinds of mustard, but I do not use regular mustard in anything except for this. How much for me to snort mustard? That'd be expensive. That'd be really expensive. I doubt I'd do it. You'd have to base you if you gave me a whole nother paycheck for the week, I'd do it. Wait, jalapeno mustard. I didn't know that was a thing. That actually sounds good. Yeah, I'd do it for a whole nother paycheck. Oh. No, I actually didn't know jalapeno mustard is a thing. That's actually kind of interesting. That I'd be willing to try, but that's because I like jalapenos. You can also do this recipe with jalapenos if you want. Right, that is almost done. So now we've mixed all of our ingredients together. You want to grab a spoon or a fork. I'm just gonna grab myself a spoon here. Chop up these yolks. Pure capsaicin? No, I'm good. I'm definitely good on that. You just want to keep mashing this up until it's got a really nice, smooth texture to it. Also, you don't even know how much one of my paychecks is. One of my paychecks could be petty cash to you. Throw away the yolks, throw away the egg whites, and just make yourself a steak. That is definitely not the proper way, especially since you can eat deviled eggs with steak. I actually quite enjoy deviled eggs with steak, as just like a little appetizer. Do you not eat appetizers or side dishes or vegetables, Sakuragi? Most of the pictures I've ever seen you send me basically don't have vegetables in them, except for as garnish. And most of those have just been herbs for garnish. Alright, so we're looking nice and smooth at this point. I could probably get a little bit better, but nah. That'll take too much work. Oh, you can eat steak with steak. You could eat steak tips as an appetizer. You're right. You're right. You have enough room for more appetizers. You have room for more steak. Fair. It's fair. You're not wrong, technically. Ooh, that is actually quite the sizable lump. Let's not put that straight in there, because I'll just be putting more yolk back right into it. There we go. Nice and crushed up. I do need to get piping bags. You're very right on that. I very much so do. You're entirely right. I didn't actually think about it, and I really should have actually grabbed them today. That actually tastes really good, though. Should have gotten it. Should have gotten some today. Didn't think on it. But you're very right. I really should. You'll often see me use just a regular Ziploc baggie and just cut the tip. Because, you know, easy, cheap. But you're right, I do need actual piping bags. It'd be nice. So I'm going a little heavy on these because I have two that have basically just fallen apart. So, just gonna go ahead and get all this into a little less than what they're supposed to be, or a little more than what they're supposed to be. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All good. Still delicious. Very yummy. But yeah, no, piping bags are a thing I should do. These are just the whites. I'm a savage, it's fine. They're the whites of the ones that broke. So, now this is Panache's favorite part. Just a giant container of smoked paprika. Steak tips followed by steak chowder, steak salad, hold the green bullshit, followed by a main course of 36-ounce porterhouse with julienne steak fingers, and cover yourself a course of Yorkshire pudding. I read that as cover yourself in Yorkshire pudding. I feel like it would be accurate, though. I feel like that's what you want to do, is cover yourself in Yorkshire pudding. Honey barbecue tri-tip for dessert. That sounds like death. Just light cracks of finely ground black pepper. And of course, finish off with chives. Flatten your tops out if the chives don't want to stay. If the chives don't want to stay. And remember, these are all mine. So all I'm doing is decorating them for myself. And a side of heart attack. Potato, you are so right. But I think Sakuragi's okay dying with by a heart attack. So long as he's eating something he enjoys. Of course, licking all that flavorfulness off your fingertips. Then wiping your other stuff off your fingers. Alright guys, so let's go and take a picture of these terribly scattered about. There we are. Alright. And about now, we should be good on the chicken, actually. We're gonna go ahead and pull one out and cut straight into it. See if we're ready. Doo-doo-doo. All right, yeah, we are perfect here. We're gonna go ahead and remove those from the heat. Bring our knife on back over here. If you want to acquire these onions, you want to make sure to get them out. Yeah. So, side of a heart attack. So meant for for the fire. Henry V ate 5,000 calories of meat a day and outlived 5 out of 6 wives. Don't try and scare me with your medical science. Because he had them beheaded. Oh, so true. It's not a very long life. Divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived, and I thought we were going to say nice bottle of Chianti. Oh man, that's great. All right, so we're gonna want to throw this lettuce off to the side. We want our onions. We're gonna just do a real quick rough chop of these onions so that they mix in well. They're very soft as it is. Get off the table now. That is the third one. I'm gonna quickly cut these up. They're super soft, so there's nothing special here. We're just doing a quick chop so that they mix in with this pulled chicken once we get that all done. Move that off to the side. Your board. Wipe down the center of your area. And there are actually a couple really good different ways you can do pulled chicken. You can do it with your hands, you can utilize your tongs, or you can use a fork. Fork is the most common way I will do it because you're going to avoid getting all that steam on your hands. And it allows you to kind of just rake across it to pull those fibers apart and then push down to break it all the way up. It also allows you to avoid going against the muscle grain, which I know doesn't sound like much, but it helps. So it's kind of like, looks kind of like mashed chicken right now, but now just take and break it up. Wait, you're actually allergic to alcohol, Sakuragi? So people can't cook? That's some really good chicken. Oh yeah. That's it in the spot. Always gotta taste that food. So you can't be, food can't be cooked with alcohol for you? Or what is it? Like, what are your limitations when it comes down to being around alcohol? Or can you just not ingest it directly? Now the bigger bits, stuff like, now it's all been pulled apart, it has a lot of, it's been aerated a lot, it's not as hot, it's not gonna burn my fingertips to pull the rest of this apart. You drink more than a half a beer, your kidney, oof. Okay. Has that been a since birth thing, or what happened? I don't know what Asian low would be referred to as. Once again, press down. Looking to break up these fibers so it's a lot easier to pull apart. Also cools it down a decent bit, as you guys saw. Because right now, if I was doing this with my fingers, this would hurt. Because it's actually extremely hot right now. But even just a little bit of time in the open air allows it to cool down enough for me to pull it apart when we're all said and done. You turn bright red like a strawberry? Oof. And when you're, okay, so when you're using the fork, I will say be very careful, because using the fork like this, I even did it just a little bit there because I was distracted. It's gonna cause your chicken to kind of powder a bit, kind of fall apart. So do be careful. I just did it a little bit. So I wanted to remind you guys to be careful with it. So when did you figure that out? Did you know when you were like from when you were younger, or did you accidentally try and drink some alcohol and went boof? Also, does that mean that you can still have you? That means you can still have it in food, though. That you just can't really have it in like your soups or anything. Ooh. That's hot. Hot. Oof. That is no fun, man. That sucks. And I say that, and I drink like super rarely, so it doesn't really bother me, but I know a lot of people really enjoy it. All right, so now that we're done there, we're gonna go back over to the stove. Oh, she is, but I'm not going to give it to her because I can't remember. Luke would confirm or deny, but I think onions are bad for cats. So I don't want to give her anything that has had onion in it. I can't remember for sure, though. So I'm not going to give her any, just in case. So we're going to come on back over to the stove here. We have not gotten rid of our broth because we're actually going to use some of that broth. That's what I thought. Onions were very bad for cats. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I was pretty sure Luke had said that they were bad for cats. We're gonna get our onions, or our tomatoes. We're gonna bring our skillet up to temperature. And we're going to put a little bit of oil down. We're going to cook up those tomatoes until they're, nice and fragrant. Then we're going to drop our chicken, and we're going to add more broth. Or we're going to drop our chicken broth in there. You're going to cook that down a little bit till the tomatoes start to fall apart, and then we'll go ahead and add our chicken in, and our onions. We'll add our onions back in. And we'll stir that about until the, and you guys will watch, you guys will get to see it, until the broth is almost fully dissipated. Yeah, well then I'm very glad that I did not let her have any, because cook straight in onion. I got bits of chicken just sitting around. Nom 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 nom. Delicious. Absolutely love it. Yeah, and then we're going to toast our bread after this, but that's nothing special. I'm just going to use a little bit of mayo to coat the outside of the bread and then toast it down on just on one of my skillets. No, you can't have any. You have food. Gave you food. I guess we're not doing anything right now, so we can pet the kitty. You guys see the big fat cat? I don't want to put you against my chest, I'm sorry, because obviously I don't want your fur all over my apron. Oh yeah, no, for sure. There's I only ever give them very small amounts of chicken if I give them any, and it's like once every 2 weeks or so you'll see me clean off chicken during the stream sometimes, and I'll give them little fatty scraps, but for the most part I do avoid giving them human food. They know that if anything's actually fully cooked, they're not allowed to have it. Except they try to go for milk all the time, even though it's horrible for them because it has so much sugar. But she doesn't care. She's a fatty. She's the fatty of the group. She's like, all right, how are we looking on temperature? All right, we are coming just up to temp. Here's our little bit of olive oil here. Figure it out. It was a little colder than I thought it was. Good. It's coming up now. There we go. Got a nice sizzle going on. Crack a little bit of salt over this. Just before these tomatoes are finished, what we're going to actually do is we're going to add our chili flakes and get those cooked up just a little bit to make sure that their flavor is nice and robust in the food. Cooking a little slower than I'd like, so I went ahead and turned up the temperature just a little bit. What are you doing, Tsunade? You're being adorable, but it's weird. Right. Potatoes are beginning to wilt. I'm gonna go and take the top off. You know, I don't actually understand the purpose of these lids. Because these lids, they never let enough out. They never let enough chili flakes out. Right. And turn up the temperature just a little bit once more so that we can... I was cooking those tomatoes in a bit of olive oil to cause them to wilt, so that whenever I cook them in the actual broth, they fall apart and they mix in with that chicken really nicely. You see how it's coming up to a nice soft boil? That's when we're about there is where we want to go ahead and toss in our chicken, and then we'll toss in our onions just over top of that. I want to add in a little bit more broth here. See how our tomatoes are beginning to fall apart and mix in with that chicken? That's exactly what we want. I'm gonna let that sit so that the heat rises back up, the temperature comes back up, and we've got a nice hot, hot surface to work on again. It smells absolutely phenomenal. Those chili flakes are just wafting in the air right now. All right, you can, and now you can hear another sizzle. That means that chicken broth is coming back up the temp. We're gonna basically just rinse and repeat until this broth is mostly gone and absorbed into the chicken. Now at this point, we're gonna go ahead and put our onions back in. See, and that's why I was thinking about doing this. The cutting board, you get a nice view of this, but you also have me right here. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys thoughts on that that camera setup over there? So close to done. And now, once we're done here, we're gonna add a little bit of flavor by using the rest of the chives that we cut up tonight and throw them on into the food. A little bit more flavor, a little bit more color, give a little bit more life to the food. And prevents us from wasting a whole thing of chives, right? So close to done, and I am so hungry, so ready to get a chance to taste this and see see where it all goes. So go ahead and throw those chives in there. Oh no, let's not throw the chives in there yet. Let's go ahead and get our salad out and start getting our plate ready. All right. It looks really good. Very, very simple. But quite frankly, I think simple is fantastic. I'm gonna toss that back in the fridge so that my roommate can have some later. I'll probably strain it out before the end of the night. That way I can enjoy it for lunch tomorrow. Let's show you guys what that extra color looks like. Very simple, nothing dramatic, but it allows for little pops in the actual chicken itself. Yes, you're very right. The simpler, the less that can go wrong, and that is very frequently a reoccurring theme here. I like to keep it simple. The more complex food has been on this stream, honestly, the more likely I've been to make a mistake. And nobody likes a mistake for dinner. I was really expecting Sakuragi to chime in there real quick. Be like, what about steak for dinner? All right, so I'm bringing the pan over there up to temp so we can get a quick toast on our bun. A little bit more here. Using a little bit of mayo there for the sake of toasting. It actually comes out really nice. I love you too, Mom. Sleep well. I'm almost done here. I am running a little longer than I wanted to, so it means I should have started probably about 15 minutes ago. Or 15 minutes before. 15 minutes beforehand. So what I think I'm going to do in the future is start the stream about 5:30 and then actually start cooking it. That way, I cook inside the time block of between 6 and 8. Almost done there. I picked those buns actually specifically because they're just insanely soft buns. Insanely soft buns. Absolutely delicious. Got ourselves a nice toast on that bun right there. Potato buns are delicious, but entirely sold out in my area. Entirely sold out. I got 2 bags of them, and they like, me and my roommate devoured them, and then I couldn't find more. So we got, we gotta wait until we can find more. Toast is almost done there. Let's go ahead and turn off our heat and get ready. This will be finally, like, this is something that I only had about a week ago, and I was very excited. As soon as I had it, I knew I had to cook it on stream. I knew I had to try it and, you know, try my hand at this. If potato buns lasted that long, yes. But even in the freezer, they fall apart so easily. And the beauty about this, by the way, is it doesn't even have to be on a sandwich. This goes extremely well with, say, rice bowls, beans, inside of a tortilla, by itself. It is honestly a very versatile thing. And because it's just pulled chicken, it's just a special way, it's just a Mexican style pulled chicken. And you can add so many things to your bun here. I thought about grabbing some avocados for my bun. You could put it on a steak. You could eat it on a steak. But I thought about grabbing some avocados, slice them up, put them on the opposite side. But they were not good. I didn't want to buy the avocados at the store today. Not much lettuce, just a little bit to add a crunch to your food. Let's get another picture, because you gotta take pictures. Alrighty. So, let's taste this. Tonight, because we don't have multiple people at the table, eat here. We're gonna hang out, guys. Get ourselves a fork. I already know the deviled eggs are good. The cucumber salad, it's a cucumber salad. And so the big piece here is gonna be the sandwich. So we're gonna go ahead and dive right in. Oh, God. It's delicious. Delicious. What is up, Alley Cat? You're coming in right at the end here. And I've already kind of gotten a whiff of that salad with this. I actually got a bit of cucumber out of it. And that sweetness goes really well with this sandwich. Oh yeah, right on time for that money shot. Man, that's really good. I am not at all disappointed by this. I'm surprised, if nothing else. I did not expect it to turn out so good on my first attempt, but it is phenomenal. So much flavor all over the mouth, everywhere. Delicious. I wish you guys could be in here trying this, because I have an entire bowl of it. You guys gotta come over. Somebody just teleport over here and enjoy some of this food with me. I will say, with it being this fresh, you might want to use a thicker bun. Not such a soft bun, because the last time I had it, it wasn't straight fresh. it was overnight. And so there's a lot more moisture here than I was expecting. No, I like that. We can talk about that later, okay? For sure, though. Like, tell me about it on Discord. Let me know. Let me know what happened. I want to know why your day was so bad. All right. Definitely advise tougher buns. So. And expect it to fall apart. Just get ourselves some salad. I'm gonna try all this before we end up ending the stream tonight. Yes, you would need 2 pieces of steak to hold this all together. Very simple, flavorful salad there. The onions are great. Sweetness on the cucumber is phenomenal. Great contrast to this sandwich. And then a deviled egg is a deviled egg, man. Can't go wrong. All right, guys. So that is our stream for the night. I got to get ready for D&D. If you guys want to hang out for D&D, I'll be back in 45 minutes. And we're going to be doing session 4 of our campaign. If you guys want to be able to make this recipe, I'm going to be posting it to YouTube tomorrow night. It'll be on the Soggy Green Bean. Feel free to go check it out. I don't owe you a dessert tonight. I can't do a dessert with all of the extra stuff I did. But I will try and get a dessert in next week. Send me recommendations for desserts, guys. I'm not very creative with dessert. I made this recipe based on something I've eaten before. I can't do that with dessert. So send them to me. Send them on Discord. Tag me in the YouTube on a video that you want me to try and make. I need to get. I'm gonna do a stream. I'm gonna talk to you, Andrew. And I want you to come over, and I want to make the cupcakes with you. I decided that like 2 nights ago. I want to make the cupcakes with you. I think it'd be a lot of fun to have you over here and doing that, if you're comfortable with that. If you're not, then, you know, I'll just do them myself. But I want to do those with you. I think it would be a lot of fun because, you know, that's like up your alley, special, like fancy shit. You know, I'm not like that fancy when it comes down to food. I think it would be awesome. I don't like the taste of tiramisu, so that one's out of the bag, you know, out of the options there. And I know you. I will be doing dessert in the future. Just send me some advice, or even hell, you know, advise me a recipe book, and I'll go buy it. But yeah, give me a book. A good dessert book, and I'll buy it off Amazon, and I will look through it, and I'll learn how to make desserts. I'm horrible at them, and I am not creative. So I'm not creative with desserts. With dinner, I'm great. Desserts, not so much. But you guys, like I said, this video will be up on the Soggy Green Bean. It'll let you guys go through it, you know, watch it again and learn how to cook it if you would like, or there'll be a quick description down below on how to make it rather than having to watch through the entire video again. But if you have questions, obviously the video will be able to answer those questions. For now, though, I love you all. Thank you for hanging out, and sleep well when you get there. I hope to see you on D&D in about 40 minutes.